Stepping aside from the small business world for just a second, a good example, the Pepsi company.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, the Pepsi company, for the first time in, I think, 23 years, they opted not to advertise during the Super Bowl. Instead, they took money that they would have invested in a Super Bowl ad, which is
huge.
A lot of money, and they invested that in a social media marketing program that weighs very heavily on Facebook. So you see, even large corporations like that, they're looking at Facebook and social media marketing and saying, yes, this is where we need to be. So I think that a lot of the skeptics are being silenced now, and I think that it really is the future.
Well, I think people have seen it go from something that, was just people using, and maybe people are saying nice things, maybe people are not, to if you can just set certain parameters on it, it's very effective and very reasonable to do it for, especially for a small business. Yeah, Pepsi might have spent millions of dollars, but a small business might spend a couple $100s.
And that's the thing too. You figure with the Pepsi company, they're hiring a whole team of people to work on this. Small businesses, they don't have those resources. Now, the difficulty that we've seen small businesses endure with social media marketing and utilizing Facebook is that they don't have the time. Now, if you're running a small shop and you're probably wearing a lot of hats already, do you really have time to go on and find content to put on your Facebook page and then to post it and to monitor it and to interact with your customers in a way that will keep them interested? It is time consuming. So one thing that we offer at Creative Print Products is a service where we will set up a Facebook page for small businesses. We will make sure that we put content on there that is quality content that people will read, and it will engage them in dialogue. It will spark their interest. It will help them to alert their friends and to grow a fan base. We're seeing mid-size organizations actually creating positions for people to do social media marketing. I actually read an article in the Worcester Business Journal just yesterday. Nichols College created a new position, Director of Social Media, and they appointed a new person to fill this role because they feel that it is a full-time job. So looking at
quality.
To do it quality. To look at it, to look at a social media marketing strategy overall and say, we're doing this right. And that's where, again, small businesses can fall by the wayside. You set up a site.
Good intentions.
Good intentions, exactly. You set up a Facebook site, and it's like building a foundation. But if you don't continue to build on that, eventually that foundation is going to kind of crumble.
People become a fan, and they'll go to your Facebook page, and you'll go, nothing there.
And then they lose interest.
Then why bother?
And then the problem there is if you set up a Facebook page, you start to build a fan base, but then you say, you know what, I'm just so busy with A, B, and C.
And time goes by so fast.
Exactly. And if you let that slip, you're going to lose the interest of those fans. They're not going to be as likely to invite others. You're not going to grow your fan base. And when the time comes around again where you say, you know what, I got to get back on this.
It's too late.
It's too late because you've already made that first impression.
Exactly. And it's so hard to make it up by then. It's you're behind the pack. You've fallen in the ski race.
Right. And having worked with a lot of small businesses in the area, we've seen people come to us and say, we'd love to be able to have a Facebook page, but we don't have the time, and we really can't hire someone to do it, which is why we thought, if we offer this service to allow individuals and small businesses to outsource their social media marketing, we can really help them grow their business.
I thought one very interesting one that you helped a CPA, and it's almost like a blog where he adds interesting facts about, maybe an IRS change or some type of tax change or, some type of strategy to reduce your taxes. How useful is that? People want to know that, so I can see people going back to his site.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And if you see quality information up there, you're more likely to want to go back there again. You say, I learned something new when I looked on their page 3 days ago. I'm going to check it out again and see what their updates are.
And you can feel comfortable saying to other people that you're friends with, go over and check this Facebook page because it's actually useful to you. Or,
Exactly, and that's another important factor is, content is king. You have to make sure you're putting the right content on there. And I've seen business Facebook pages where the content is, I can't believe it's raining outside.
And I can't believe they would put something like that on there.
Exactly,
but it's just crazy.
But it happens because they want to make a post, because you need to keep making posts, and if you don't have content, you got to put something on there.
But that's just silly.
Well, that's a case where if you don't have content, less is more.
Yeah.
What's nice is there are ways you can find quality, updated content on the internet, like
Is that
Google
where Google
Alerts.
optimization comes in? You had spoken about that. Is that what? Can you explain that a little bit?
That ties in as well.
Yeah.
First, let me just mention one way to get content is through Google Alerts.
Okay.
You can set up to receive updates through your email from Google when content relevant to your business or the interest of your fans comes up. You can then take that, filter through it, and post it onto your site to generate quality content. And what quality content does is it improves your search engine optimization, so that when somebody goes into Google and they type in, let's say you're a massage therapist and you have a fan page, and somebody types in massage therapist, Leominster, Massachusetts.
Yep.
Well, if you're creating enough quality posts that include the right keywords, the right tags, you're more likely to appear higher up on Google when someone searches for you, and they can be directed to your Facebook page.
Okay.
So that's a really neat feature, and for a while there, companies were paying thousands and thousands of dollars a month to
be on the
assure
top of the
that they
Google
were on the
search.
top of the Google search. There are ways to do that at very minimal costs, and Facebook has made that very easy for companies to do.
But that's a trick you got to know.
It is a trick you got to know. There is a lot to
Yeah.
it. So you have to know what you're doing, and you have to make sure that you do it right the first time.
Yeah, because it's just so important. Let's just get into, like, I had I want to talk about a person that I know has a Facebook page for a business, and I looked at it, and I don't think that person really even knew how to download the pictures correctly. And it didn't really, remember we tried to look for it and it didn't come up when we put in what I thought was the company name. So people are trying to do it themselves, but it's just not working.
Right, and again, like you said, good intentions, but I mean, if a company wanted to design their own website, and then you go onto the website and you see that there's links that aren't working properly, there are images that aren't loading, it's going to create, I don't want to say necessarily a negative impression, but it can create a negative impression and go, you know what, back to Google, let me search for another one. It can be the same thing with the Facebook page. If you're not able to run the apps correctly, if you're not able to load photos correctly, if you're not posting the right content in the right ways, it can create that negative impression, and it can drive people away from your site to other sites.
Because, you know,